How can you tell if someone is vegan? Don't worry, they'll let you know. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. For those of you who might not know, a vegan, or someone who follows a vegan diet, like a vegetarian, does not eat meat. But, in addition, they also don't consume any animal products, like dairy or eggs. Surprisingly, despite numerous compelling reasons to adopt this diet, most people outright reject the idea without even considering it. Some people consider it and decide against it, and then there are a few people that when they learn about vegetarianism or veganism, they give it a try. If you're not already, today I hope to convince you to be part of this third group. Personally, I've been a meat eater for most of my life. However, in my first year of CEGEP, I saw something that changed me forever. And I realized that I was acting in complete contradiction with my own moral values by eating meat. And yet, I continued to eat meat for another decade. Why? I believe it's because I was lied to. I believe we've all been lied to. We've been lied to by industry, by our cultures, and ultimately by ourselves. The meat and dairy industry spend millions of dollars every year to convince us that meat and dairy are healthy. Campaigns like this extol the virtues of milk's calcium and protein content, but what they don't tell us is what else is in a glass of milk. Due to egregious farming practices, you'll also find millions of cells of pus in your milk, as well as growth hormones, antibiotics, and feces. Not to mention fat and cholesterol, significant amounts that you won't find in plant-based alternatives. Another lie we've been told is that you need to get milk. You need to eat meat if you want to get enough protein. You need to have your protein or you'll be weak. Well, I would suggest that these athletes, all vegan, would disagree. Rich Roll was 40 years old when he decided to change his life. He went on a vegan diet and he became a triathlete. Tori Washington has been vegan since 1998. And tennis pro Serena Williams was on a vegan diet when she won Wimbledon. Now, most of us grew up eating meat at home. I did. And so I began to associate this food with comfort, with traditions, even with love. Who hasn't enjoyed a hot bowl of chicken soup when they were sick, or enjoyed turkey or roast pork with family at family get-togethers, or had ice cream as a treat? What's wrong with that? Well, in that first year of CEGEP, I learned that the majority of farm animals in Canada exist in factory farm-like conditions. That means that the chicken, for my hot chicken soup, suffered greatly. Chicks, male chicks, are ground alive. Females who are kept to produce eggs have their beaks burnt off so that they won't peck themselves to death due to their insufferable conditions and stress. The pig for my pork roast is castrated, normally without any anesthesia, and this is so that his sex hormones won't ruin the taste of my pork. And the milk for my ice cream came from a cow that was forcibly impregnated year after year. So it would give birth, so it would lactate, it would have its baby taken away from it so it could be hooked up to electronic devices and milked to such a degree that it will decrease its life expectancy from 20 years to 3 to 5 years. 2,500 years ago, Pythagoras, the mathematician and scientist, was an outspoken vegetarian. He said, "As long as men massacre animals, they will kill each other. Indeed, he who sows the seed of murder and pain cannot reap the joy of love." Other great thinkers who were also vegetarian for ethical reasons include Plato and Leonardo da Vinci and Einstein and Gandhi. I grew up believing that meat and dairy were good for me because I was told so. But it's a lie, and there's plenty of evidence for that. I grew up believing that my daily actions were not cruel, but they were. And there's lots of evidence to support that. But even after learning all this, I continued to eat meat. I wanted to deny. I wanted to stay blind. I wanted to keep eating my comfort food. I thought I would be giving up too much not to. Well, now I have been vegan for 4 years, and I was vegetarian for 12 years before that. And I honestly can report that I don't feel like I'm giving up anything. In fact, I feel like my world has gotten bigger. Other vegetarians claim that they have more energy, have a leaner physique, more clarity of mind, and many other positive effects. My hope today is that you too will at least consider this diet. And if you do, I hope it takes you less time than it took me to jump in.